Years back then, I got to know a child who was a smarty pants and was often praised by his parents, teachers, and friends. Before any exam, he definitely would study very hard, try to cover all the information, and sometimes even pull an all-nighter. He would be super ready. But once he stepped into the examination room, he started to feel nervous, and he had the idea, what if I forgot what I have learned? He started to have heavy breaths, cough continuously, and sometimes even vomit. His anxiety would even continue in the examination room. He would definitely check his answer, double check, triple check, and even if after the exam is finished, he would still check his answers with the textbook again. And he would think, oh wait, did I spell the word Mississippi with 1 P or 2 Ps? Although he had practiced the spelling of that word 50 times already. Although he was super smart in his studies, his communication skills were a complete mess. In any discussions, he would be very quiet. And when the teacher was choosing who to answer the question, his knees would be shaking. And in his mind, he would be saying, not me, please, not me, please. There were times when he knew the correct answer or had a very good idea, but did not say out loud because he thought he might make a mistake. Then another student would say exactly as what he was thinking, which in fact was correct. So the little boy was actually not sure about himself. In his mind, he had the idea, I might screw up. And he was having doubts on himself, and he was afraid to face the failure, and he was afraid to face the reaction of the people if he failed. So what do you think happened to this little boy? Some of you might be thinking, oh, he's just a kid, he's going to be fine when he grows older. Some of you might be thinking, oh, poor little boy, I wish I could hug him and say some nice and supportive words. Well, if you're thinking about the latter, you could definitely do it right now, because this whole situation, the little boy, was me. So what was happening to me before those exams and events are that there were a ton of questions running to and fro in my brain. There's a little gobbler in my head screaming, you might made a mistake. What if you made a mistake? What will people think of you? How would your parents and teachers respond if you made a mistake? All those years, these doubts have been killing me internally. So, let's recall our past. Have any of you been in the same situation as me? Were there times when you are very afraid that you might make a mistake, or times that you stay silent because you're worried people might judge you if you made a mistake? Actually, I've done a survey based on that topic. I conducted an online survey in June 2022 on Burmese youths. I want to find out how many of the youths are having the same situation as me, and I was also curious to listen to their story as well. Among the 304 participants in my survey, 198 of them said they often face those kind of situations. 79 of them said they sometimes face those situations, and 27 of them said they rarely face those situations. Tom Hanks, an Academy Award-winning director, revealed in an interview with NPR that he had a really good connection with his character in the hologram of the king because he was also suffering from self-doubts. He also revealed that no matter how you try, there comes a point when you think, how did I get here? When are they going to find out that I'm in fact a fraud and take everything away from me? I was very surprised to find out that these people, despite their fame and talent, used to have this self-doubts and fear. And in fact, this self-doubt has a medical term called the imposter syndrome. And you know what? Michelle Obama, in one of her book tours, spoke to an audience of 300 participants in Elizabeth Garrett Anderson School that she is still suffering from the imposter syndrome, and it never goes away. The imposter syndrome was first discovered in 1978, and until now, it was not described as an illness or a disease yet. So, here are the few signs that indicate the imposter syndrome. But the most common symptom of imposter syndrome is called the imposter cycle. It starts with a task where you made furious over preparation or procrastination followed by serious preparation. When the task is accomplished, you feel relief and, oh, thank God it ended. And when a new task comes along, it triggers all the feelings of doubts and insecurities. This totally resembles my childhood story, and it was when I found out that I was suffering from the imposter syndrome. So, how did I find a way to handle my imposter syndrome? It all began with the book Pollyanna, which was written by American novelist Eleanor H. Porter. I read this book during the COVID pandemic, actually the translated version. I thought I would not finish it to the end, as always, but surprisingly, I finished the book in 3 days, and it had left me with many thoughts. This book was about an 11-year-old orphan, Pollyanna, who moved to Vermont to live with her aunt, Miss Harrington, an aristocratic woman, only caring for Pollyanna as a sense of duty. Before Pollyanna's dad passed away, they lived in a small town, and they had to struggle a lot in their life. And in the little town where they live, there is a society called the Ladies' Aid. Pollyanna and her dad were very poor, so they had to rely on a charitable donation, especially from that Ladies' Aid Society. Pollyanna had once wanted a doll as a present, but her father was very poor to buy it. So one Christmas, Pollyanna's dad wrote a letter to the Ladies' Aid Society requesting the doll as a present. However, instead of a doll, little crutches arrived. So what do you think would be Pollyanna's response? Surprisingly, Pollyanna's response to the little crutches were gratitude and happiness. It was in fact she played a game called the Glad Game, which she had learned from her father. And that game has helped her to change the perspective of the little crutches she received. So Pollyanna's answer to the question, why are you happy and glad when you're getting the thing you don't want, would be very simple. I'm just happy and glad because I don't need them. Pollyanna and her father faced many problems, but regardless of any situation, they try to find at least one good thing in every situation. This part makes me to wonder, have I been thinking things in a wrong way? Are all my doubts and insecurities coming because of the way I was thinking? Am I finally be able to overcome my doubts? And in this way, I could reflect my life in a positive manner that Pollyanna has taught me. Regardless of what circumstances come in the way, try to seek the good in everything. Right now, speaking about my story on this TED stage, some of you might be wondering, wow, he seems very sure. Did he able to overcome his doubts? Did he consult a physician or drink any magic pills to fight against his doubts? In fact, no. Speaking about my story in front of many people, including my friends and on this TEDx stage, believe it or not, my body is flooded with adrenaline, and the imposter syndrome, the doubts are all around me. But what I could do and what I am doing now is control. We cannot stop our doubts. We can only control them. Depending on how successfully you control your doubts, you find a way to the doors of possibility, serenity, and joy. For me, I found a way to transform myself from a knee-shaking boy to a person who could speak bravely on the stage. So, how did I put all those things in real life to control my doubts? Number one, perspective. No matter how we freak out about all those tasks and exams and public events, you definitely have to face it. The doubts and worries are not going to help you overcome them. In fact, they're even going to harm us. So let's try to be more like Pollyanna. Let's try to think how well we are going to be able to perform in those exams and events. How we are going to be proud of ourselves and will be very happy after we accomplish them. How much knowledge and experience we are going to gain. Number two, fake it till you make it. So before any exams and events, there's a thing I always do. I name it, here I go, I'm superhero. I learned a part of this method from my favorite medical drama, Grey's Anatomy. Dr. Amelia Shepard, the neurosurgeon, mentioned about the things she did before any surgeries so that she could perform better. So whenever I felt those emotions, worries, and doubts, I did my here I go, I'm superhero. It's very simple. I would stand still, place my fist on my waist, close my eyes with my head held high, and recite the following lines. I'm strong. I'm powerful. I deserve to be in this position. I'm surrounded by people who will applaud and support me. I have opportunities to achieve, and I can do this. I simply recite these lines in my brain 3 to 4 times, and if I say them often enough, they become a part of me, making me calm and be able to focus on my task with so much joy. In fact, this was a study conducted in Harvard University in 2012. Amy Cuddy, a social psychologist and a keynote speaker, conducted a study in which 42 male and female participants are asked to sit for 2 minutes in a superhero posture or a normal posture. Later, mock interviews were performed and their hormone levels are measured. Surprisingly, those who did a superhero posture before the mock interviews could perform measurably better in those interviews, and their body chemistry changed, decreasing the cortisol hormone, the stress hormone, increasing the testosterone, which means less stress but more confidence. Number 3, seek help. I know this is the most challenging aspect and a kind of internal adventure, but trust me, it's worth it. Because what seems like weakness is actually a strength when you get help. There are many people who love you and are ready to support you in any way, but they cannot help you until you admit the problem. So seek help, challenge yourself, and once you have overcome your obstacles and reflect on your progress, you will be very proud of yourself. If you think you're suffering from this imposter syndrome, talk to someone who you feel safe with and try to get help. This imposter syndrome is not a bad thing, and you're not alone. There are many other people as well. Tom Hanks, Michelle Obama, and hey, don't forget me. Speaking about seeking help, I got to hear a very brave story from my friend recently. His name is Locke. He is an international student studying in IUHW together with me. I'm really grateful that he gave me the permission to share his story on this stage. His words are, I have always thought why I got this scholarship, and I thought I was just because I was lucky. You guys are really fluent in your English, and I've always have worries about my English that I might get judged. I have the worries of judgment that I cannot get a chance to communicate and share my opinions with you guys. In the past, I used stress as my motivation, but this whole new situation and the peer pressure going on, it just become a heavy load on me. I feel like I have to try very much because I'm having doubts on myself, and worrying about failure is a thing that I always struggle with. I believe that there are many other people having the same feelings as my friend. But here's how I think. Why would you feel overwhelmed when you're getting this wonderful opportunity to learn from people who are good at their task? We are walking our own path with our own pace, own stamina. The beginning of our journey is not the same. And I believe that God only gives us what we can handle, and we are in our position because we deserve it. When we are having doubts on our skills and our achievement, there are many other people who are looking up to you and your success. We do not need to compete with other people. We just need to compete with ourselves. We just need to compete with yesterday you and today you. I would like to convey this message to my friend Locke and to all other people having the similar situations. And one last important thing. If you see someone in those situations, listen to their story and let's try to help each other. I know that in my country, Myanmar as well, there are many youths who are suffering for self-doubts and fear. So with the purpose of youths being able to express their ideas and do what they want to do without any judgment, I founded a youth organization called Youth University on the very 1st of January 2022. Its motto is from youths, for youths to youths, with the primary objective of to nurture youths to be able to be focused, elegant, and confident in their new horizons. Up to now, our Youth University organization has done many public events, seminars, interpersonal skill training, volunteer training sections, and many other collaboration with youth organizations. We plan to grow our organization more and more with the purpose of to help the youth as much as we can. I would like to end my talk with a quote that I really like. Life is between B and D. B is birth and D is death. Between B and D, there is C, which is choice. You want to be happy or sad, it's your choice. You want to have doubts on your skill or be a superhero, it's your choice. So choose wisely. But please remember, joy is in short supply these days, and grab as much as you can. Thank you.